list, those do not have reverse repealers, right? Okay, that's all I needed.
One does.
One does. So the first one, the employment security does have a reverse repeal, and it's going to conference.
Everything else in the committee is going straight.
Everything else in that one and committee, and then we have one in committee J, funeral service board will go through. That's in another committee. Are there any other questions? If not, I recognize the gentleman from
Yes.
Montgomery, our vice chairman. To bring up A.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, we'll begin with Department of Employment Security Commission. Gentleman from DeSoto asked about reverse repealers. This will be the only one with a reverse repealer in it. The department comes in at $157,098,796. Just very minor changes. It's LBR level of funding. It's in section 5, line 134. There was a change from 3 to 1, which changes 3 million to 1 million. And again, a reverse repealer change. The date on the reverse repealer was changed to June 29, 21, and that's an explanation of that budget of the Department of Employment Security Commission. Move adoption.
Okay, you heard it, gentlemen. What is it, Titus, for to pass?
Do pass.
This is going to be, we're voting on it by itself. You've heard the gentleman's explanation. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. This one will go to conference.
The next bill, Senate Bill 2929, chiropractic examiners, comes in at $106,461. The conference adopted the following level of funding, $466 to MMRS, which is Mississippi Management Recording System, an acronym. And then, of course, we're having increases in all ITS and health insurance charges this year across the board, and we're allowing those. You'll hear me mention that on every one of these bills. We're allowing those ITS charges to increase in those and the health insurance. It comes in at $1,610 over LBR for those two items. My motion will be title sufficient to do pass.
You've heard the gentleman's motion. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Next item.
Next item, Senate.
Mr. Chairman,
Gentleman from.
may I be recognized for a motion?
Yes, sir.
Is there any reason why we couldn't take all of Subcommittee A up in a block?
It's at the will of this committee now. The gentleman has explained that the only thing on this is the insurance and the ITS charges and restoring some LBR cuts, but there's nothing heinous in any of these. Are special. They are special funds.
Sir, may I be recognized for that motion?
You've heard the gentleman's motion to take the remainder. That would be all Subcommittee A remaining up in a block vote. Yeah, y'all understand what we're doing here? Okay. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, we will go to Subcommittee B. And again, I'm going to recognize our Vice Chairman, Jim from Montgomery, to explain this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, this is Subcommittee B, Constitutional Government. The Chairman White is in a meeting and unable to be here. I'm handling these. Every one of these has a reverse repealer in them, and they will be going to conference. And I'd entertain a motion to take these up in a block if committee.
You've heard the motion. Second. Any questions? If not, we're going to take up Block B in one vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Next, we'll go to Subcommittee C. Recognize the honorable gentleman from Harrison to explain his group.
reverse repealers in them and coming back to us, and it is the emergency management, the MDA, and the Secretary of State. And I'd like to make a motion, take them up in a block if there's no objection.
You've heard the gentleman's recommendation. All in favor of taking these up in a block, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Let's go to Subcommittee D. Recognize the gentleman from Jackson, Mr. Barton, to explain Subcommittee D.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These are the appropriation bills for the Community College Board and the community colleges, the support for the colleges themselves, and also the appropriations for the finance and administration. These are all at LBR. They all have reverse repealers in them. This is just trying to get them through the process. Any questions?
Gentleman from Washington, you have a question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had talked about the dual enrollment funds. Have y'all made the adjustment there on community college?
Right now, it's still at LBR. That's still being discussed. We're trying to, actually that and a couple of other things we'd like to do, but until we get the final numbers, we're not going to know what we're going to be able to.
And also get the conference on both sides, okay?
Yeah. Now, we did pass a standalone bill that the House did, but the Senate didn't take it up.
Okay. You've heard the gentleman's recommendation to take these
Block.
Subcommittee D up in a block vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Next, let's go to Subcommittee E. I recognize the gentleman Calhoun, Mr. Beckett, to explain Subcommittee E.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These are the bills for the IHL and the Personnel Board. And once again, they're all at LBR with a reverse repealer with intention of going to conference. And I'd recommend that we take these up in a block.
You've heard the gentleman's recommendation. Any questions? If not, all of those in favor of taking this block up, subcommittee block up, say aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Next will be Subcommittee F. I recognize the gentleman from Neshoba, Mr. Bounds, to explain his Subcommittee F.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Senate Bill 2923, the appropriation for the Department of Revenue, and Senate Bill 2950, appropriation for ITS, both come in at LBR with reverse repealers, and my motion would be to take both of these up in block.
You've heard the gentleman's recommendation. Any questions? All in favor say aye. The ayes have it. Next would be Subcommittee G, Public Health. I recognize the gentleman from Pike to explain the subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 2926 is the Department of Mental Health. It does have a reverse repealer and is based on LBR recommendations.
Your recommendation, take it up as a block.
Unfortunately, there's not a block, but there's one bill. Senate Bill
Well, one bill is good enough. Well,
Yes,
that's a short block, sir.
Yes, sir.
All in favor of this motion, say aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Next would be Subcommittee H. I recognize the gentleman from Walthall, Mr. Pocket, to explain his subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the appropriation for agriculture and forestry. They all come in LBR, a reverse repealer, and I asked to take them up as a block, please, sir.
Okay, you've heard the gentleman's recommendation. Any questions? If not, all in favor of taking up Subcommittee H in one block vote, say aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Next would be Subcommittee I. Recognize the gentleman from, I can't ever get his name, is it Hancock? Pearl River.
Pearl River.
Jimmy, our member secretary to explain his subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 2928 is the appropriation bill for Tennessee Tom Bigby Waterway Development Authority. It comes in the LBR, has a reverse repealer, and I don't mind doing my one bill on a block vote if you want to, so.
Well, that's a short block again, no. You've heard the gentleman's recommendation. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Next would be Subcommittee J, Military. Recognize the gentleman from Pontotoc to explain his block. However, I think there's one bill in it we need to pull out and pass on its own merit, Doc.
This is the group of bills for the military department.
Yeah.
We've got VA and Camp Shelby, museum, several things in here that we need to cover. I suggest that we take these up on one block vote.
Okay, now, we're talking about the first two items we're going to take up in a block.
Yes.
Are there any questions on the first two? If not, gentleman from DeSoto.
Mr. Chairman, what was the final that we came in for the military department?
I believe it's
It's just first house action. We'll get it for you in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
It's 7.5 million at that's LBR. Okay, you've heard the gentleman's recommendation on the first two items and on Committee J. All in favor of taking these up as a block, say aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. We want to take up Senate Bill 2931 on its own. This deals with appropriation for the Funeral Service Board, and it is just like the ones, special funds we passed earlier. It has health insurance and ITS. Are there any questions on this one? Okay, now you heard the gentleman's motion. All in favor of taking up this 2931, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have, that's gone. Next would be Subcommittee K. Recognize the gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Ure, to explain his subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the Gaming Commission. It's at LBR with a reverse repealer.
You heard the gentleman's recommendation. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Next would be Subcommittee L. I recognize the lady from OMIT, Ms. Cockerham, to explain her subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Senate Bill 2915 is the appropriation for the Department of Corrections. Senate Bill 2916 is the appropriation for the Department of Public Safety, and Senate Bill 2920 is the appropriation for the Ethics Commission. They're all at LBR with a reverse repealer, and my recommendation is to take them up in a block.
You've heard the lady's explanation. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good job. Next will be Subcommittee M. I recognize the gentleman from Jackson, Mr. Busby, to take up his subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the Office of State Aid Construction. Comes in at LBR with a reverse repealer. The motion is title sufficient to pass.
Okay, you've heard the gentleman explanation. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, now the last item on our agenda is Senate Bill 2956. I recognize the lady from the MIT to handle this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, this is our deficit bill, and it's a strike-all from our previous House bill that we took up earlier in the session, and I'll just go through it very quickly. Section 1 is the deficit appropriation to the AG's office for settlements in the amount of $520,654. Section 2, AG's office for settlements from, after, and through from capital expense in the amount of $1,860,000. Section 3, to the Community Junior College Board for health insurance, and it's from the capital expense funds in the amount of $366,133. And Section 4 is to DPS for the Trooper School, and its capital expense funds in the amount of $1,522,743. Section 5 is to workers' comp for agency operations in its capital expense funds in the amount of $150,000. Section 6 is Veterans Affairs for agency operations and the amount of $8 million from capital expense. Section 7 is the wireless communications, and it's for contracts, and it's obligated for system maintenance in the amount of $331,057. Section 8 is for the Department of Mental Health for agency operations in the amount of $20 million. Section 9 is for ITS for agency operations, and it's in the amount of $700,000. Section 10 is to the Secretary of State for agency operations in the amount of $267,479. Section 11 is to the Department of Agriculture for agency operations in the amount of $76,120. Section 12 is DFA for agency operations in the amount of $124,370. Section 13, Department of Revenue, again, agency operations, $554,192. Section 13, Department of Medicaid, for spending authority in the amount of $199,710,000. Section 14 is the Board of Animal Health for equipment in the amount of $15,000. And then Section 15 is the Board of Medical Licensure for personnel in the amount of $75,000. That's an explanation, Mr. Chairman, of Senate Bill 2956 of the strike all, and I'll yield for any questions.
You've heard the lady's explanation. This is our deficit bill. Is there any questions of the lady? Okay, your final motion.
Title sufficient, do pass, strike as amended? As amended.
You've heard the lady's motion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Before I ask you to rise and report, it's a sad day in my life. Matter of fact, I've been crying all day. Today is Leanne's last day as being on our committee. As you know, she has just been promoted to deputy director, and the young man sitting over there who's caused all this problem is going to be vice president, CFO of Jackson State, Mr. Howard Downtown Brown. So we're going to miss both of y'all, and I want to say outstanding job to both of you. And Howard, I'm gonna break your leg for doing all this, but other than that, everything. But I wish y'all would give them a round of applause for the job they've done. Richard's not clapping. Would you note that? Again, thank the committee for being here when we need you. I want to thank you. And we're going to rise. Who? Oh, Rob. Where's Rob? This is going to be our new financial officer. Rob, I apologize. Rob Riley. But again, thank y'all for being here. And I make a motion to rise and report. And we're going to try to take these up today if the speaker lets us.